Films about child prodigies are driven by an intriguing paradox. What if they don't realize their full potential if not adequately challenged? But what if the pursuit of intense challenges inculcates within them a fear of failure, which can adversely impact their childhood and beyond? In a world where individuals can be casually stigmatized for being different, extraordinary intellect can't always be a gift. Movies like A Beautiful Mind, Shine, Good Will Hunting, The Royal Tenenbaums, The End of the Tour, The Man Who Knew Infinity dealt with super smart people burdened with mental or emotional problems. The films we'll be discussing in this video grapple with similar teenage quandaries, some with unflinching profundity, while some hide their relevant messages beneath saccharine narrative layers.
Now remember, sweet face, zillions of people all over the world are going to be watching you. And that means no farting, no picking your nose, and no playing with little Mr. Peabody.
Number 10, Gifted. The undeniably cute and smart-ass child star, McKenna Grace, is gifted in Mark Webb's tear-jerking custody battle drama. She plays the spirited 7-year-old Mary, raised by her uncle/guardian, Frank Adler. Frank tries his best to raise the kid as his late sister would have wanted to, and his caring neighbor also chips in. Worrying that the homeschooled Mary won't have any friends or real-world experience, Frank enrolls his niece in a local school. Of course, Mary stands out in her elementary classroom. She displays extraordinary math skills to startle her homeroom teacher, Bonnie.
Who can tell me what?
7,695. I don't think anyone can do that. The square root is 87.7. And change.
But her intelligence also attracts the attention of the wealthy maternal grandmother, Evelyn. Gifted ticks off the familiar sentimental boxes as it puts a sympathetic child against a determined matriarch. It also duly frames the central message of why adults' obsessions can't strictly define children's intellectual pursuits. Overall, the film remains compelling due to McKenna's scene-stealing performance and the understated performance of Captain America, Chris Evans.
It's gonna be fun. Gonna meet kids today you can borrow money from the rest of your life.
Number 9, Akeelah and the Bee. While the 2002 documentary Spellbound grippingly followed 8 precious kids preparing to enter the 1999 National Spelling Bee Championship, Doug Atchison's Akeelah and the Bee is more formulaic yet very entertaining movie version of the preteen spelling bees. Spearheaded by the impeccable performance of Keke Palmer as the 11-year-old Akeelah Anderson.
When I put my mind to it, I can memorize anything. And I don't need help from a dictatorial, truculent, supercilious gardener.
This is the story of a spelling whiz prodigy hailing from a low-income neighborhood of LA. The perils of street life, bullying classmates, and a dispassionate single mother add to Akeelah's frustrations. But the girl realizes her gift when forced to take part in the school spelling bee competition and garners the attention of the coach, Dr. Larrabee.
Prestigitation. Prestidigitation.
That's correct.
Despite the universal themes of using education as a tool to combat social and economic adversities, Akeelah and the Bee is clouded a bit by saccharine layers that try to be emotionally manipulative. It is true that Palmer's charming performance and Fishburne's somber presence effectively convey the life-affirming messages, yet a little bit of restraint would have made it even more extraordinary.
Argillaceous.
That's correct.
Number 8, Finding Forrester. The eclectic auteur of American independent cinema, Gus Van Sant, occasionally makes slick mainstream films. Finding Forrester, an understated drama on a writing prodigy, is one such attempt. The film tells the tale of a gifted black teenager named Jamal Wallace, a 16-year-old living in the Bronx. He befriends a reclusive, alcoholic writer named William Forrester, who wrote the single great American novel, won a Pulitzer Prize, and then disappeared from the limelight. Jamal is an excellent basketball player and an athlete, but his true gift lies in writing, and it's apparent that the grumpy yet well-meaning Forrester becomes a mentor of sorts to the unmotivated Jamal.
Yeah, I think I got it down, though. I figure you were writing about how life never works out.
Oh, really? You had to read a book to figure that out?
Gus Van Sant does a brilliant job casting a non-actor like Rob Brown against the eloquent performance like Sean Connery. Apart from the positive message, feel-good drama, and depiction of how intellectual gifts can be a burden, the best aspect of Finding Forrester is observing the nuanced rhythm of their performances.
I'm certain
Further.
I'm sorry?
You said my skills extend farther than the basketball court. Farther relates to distance. Further is a definition of degree. You should have said further.
Number 7, Queen of Katwe. Mira Nair's chess prodigy movie stays within the conventions of an inspirational drama formula, yet it succeeds in winning us over through earnest filmmaking and terrific performances. Based on Tim Crother's book of the same name, the story follows 10-year-old Fiona growing up in the impoverished slums of Kampala, Uganda's capital city. She helps her widowed mother by caring for her siblings and selling vegetables in the market. Fiona is also a bright kid whose life changes for the better when she crosses paths with a well-educated soccer and chess coach, Robert Katend. Screenwriter William Wheeler and director Mira Nair flesh out all the familiar chess metaphors to establish this tale of triumph over adversity.
In chess, the small one can become the big one. That's why I like it.
Cinematographer Sean Bobbitt also vividly brings to life the portrait of Uganda's marginalized community. Apart from seasoned performers Oyelowo and Nyong'o, the newcomers Medina and Nikita Pearl Waligwa make the film compulsively watchable. Overall, it's an uplifting entertainment for the whole family.
Coach, is this heaven?
No. Heaven is a bit higher.
Number 6, La Bamba. Luis Valdez's La Bamba tells the story of Ricardo Esteban Valenzuela Reyes, aka Richie Valens, a teenage Chicano rock and roll star from Los Angeles. Mr. Valens was invited to join a band at the age of 16 in 1958, and he skyrocketed to fame by the time he was 17, turning out hit numbers like Donna, Come On, Let's Go, and La Bamba. But Valens died tragically in a plane crash in the spring of 1959, alongside fellow musicians Buddy Holly and J.P. Richardson. Even though his life was cut short, he has earned a lasting legacy through his songs. Luis Valdez's biopic is straightforward and energetic. Lou Diamond Phillips plays Richie Valens, which became his career-making role. Although Diamond Phillips was 25 years old when he played Valens, he delivered a compelling performance and was perfect in all the musical moments. The biopic offers a good sense of the teen prodigy's private life and the inspirations he acquired to make his hit songs and a brief yet brilliant music career. Moreover, La Bamba doesn't get stuck in the tiresome biopic platitudes and remains heartfelt to the end.
What's going on?
Show business, mijo. Show business.
Show business? These look like shit. A monkey could draw better than this.
Oh, yeah?
Should have kept my mouth shut.
Number 5, A Brilliant Young Mind. Morgan Matthews' 2007 BBC documentary, Beautiful Young Minds, follows a group of UK teenagers competing to represent the UK at the International Mathematical Olympiad. Matthews explores the same subject in this feature film, but from an intensely subjective perspective of a math prodigy and Yorkshire high schooler, Nathan Ellis. Nathan has communication challenges, and he is on the autistic spectrum, although the adults in his life, especially his loving parents, do their best to emotionally connect with him. Nathan finds a mentor and teacher, Martin Humphreys, a former International Mathematics Olympiad competitor who is now afflicted with multiple sclerosis and self-loathing.
Why don't you walk properly?
It's very direct of you. I've got multiple sclerosis. What about you? Why are you weird?
I've got special powers.
Once Nathan qualifies at the Mathematics Olympiad's tryouts, he travels to Taiwan. There he meets Zhang Mei, a Chinese team member whose friendship helps Nathan overcome his anxiety and cope with his emotions. A Brilliant Young Mind is largely commendable for not dabbling with autistic savant stereotypes and shaping it as a unique character piece. The heartwarming film does have its share of cliches, but the well-rounded characters and solid performances make it much more enjoyable.
When somebody loves you, it means that they see something in you that they think is worth something. So it sort of it adds value to you.
Number 4. Little Man Tate. Jodie Foster's superb directorial debut tells the heartwarming story of a child genius looking for social acceptance. Single mom Dee Dee learns that 7-year-old Fred Tate is profoundly gifted to master the fields of music, art, and math. Fred's towering intellect makes him an outcast among his fellow second graders. Even though Dee Dee does her best to attend to her son's emotional needs, something is lacking in his life. Nevertheless, when Fred's prowess comes under the attention of a famous child psychologist, Jane Grierson, she attempts to nurture his gifts by making him go to college. Jane, herself a prodigy, now runs an institute for gifted children. Tension arises between Jane and Dee Dee as they are in a conflict over what's best for Fred.
If anything happens to him, anything at all, I'll kill you.
He is a child whose intelligence even baffles his college mates. At the same time, he is also a boy who can't be denied a childhood. Little Man Tate is anchored by a trio of phenomenal performances and robust direction that deftly balances drama and character insight with minimal Hollywoodization.
Miss Tate, Fred is not a leper. Intelligence is not a disease that you have to protect him from. He's blessed, but he's certainly not alone. There are many gifted children out there.
Yeah? How many of them are blessed with ulcers, huh?
Number 3. Billy Elliot. Stephen Daldry's social realist dramedy is set in a working-class neighborhood in northeastern England. The eponymous protagonist is an 11-year-old boy who shows interest in learning ballet. Billy's widowed father and elder brother are involved in the coal miners' strike that happened between 1984 and 1985 that turned violent and chaotic once Margaret Thatcher's government adopted draconian measures to curb the strike. Boxing is allegedly the workers' sport, so naturally, Billy's fascination for ballet goes against the conventional manly aspirations.
What's wrong with ballet?
What's wrong with ballet?
It's perfectly normal.
Perfectly normal.
I used to go to ballet.
See?
Yet the miracle happens, and Billy dances gracefully as his inner strength and the teacher's encouragement push him to experience the transcendental power of art. Daldry's debut feature is predictable, but has enough emotional bite to rise above its contrivances. Furthermore, Jamie Bell, who was supposed to have been selected out of 2,000 children, delivers such a poignant performance. Billy Elliot is more relevant for its universality, as it grapples with the folly of burdening social defined masculine standards on a boy.
Miss, you don't fancy me, do you?
No, Billy. Funnily enough, I don't. Now piss off.
Piss off yourself.
Number 2. Fresh. Boaz Yakin's brilliantly assured directorial debut breaks new ground on the cliched hood movie. Fresh is a 12-year-old chess prodigy living in a crowded apartment with his brothers, sisters, cousins, and aunt in a crack-peddling neighborhood. Fresh's teacher is his alcoholic father who plays chess in the park for money and lives alone in a trailer. Using the strategic lessons of chess he learned from his dad, Fresh plays a game to triumph over the corrupt forces in society.
You're playing each piece like losing it hurts. This ain't checkers. You want my king. You got to come get my king. All these other pieces are just a means to do it.
Fresh may sound like a vigilante feature involving a street-hardened kid, but Yakin's distinct characterization of French and electrifying writing doesn't rehash the usual ghetto-set cliches. Apart from showcasing gritty realism and violent showdowns, Yakin excels in bringing a more contemplative dimension to the script.
I got some very important shit for my man Fresh to do. Why should I take you on, too?
I got the dope moves.
You got what?
I got stupid juice. I bust a stupid move.
Number 1. Searching for Bobby Fischer. Searching for Bobby Fischer, at the outset, is a typical based on a true story chess prodigy drama, and in fact, it doesn't entirely do away with the sentimental aspects. Nevertheless, there are profoundly artistic visual passages here that gracefully zeroes in on the thematic preoccupations. The film raises many meaningful questions about child prodigies whose gifts can also be their curse. Can a person be a genius and also a decent human being? On a broader scale, it reflects the universal parental dilemma. Should I nurture the innate decency within my kid? Or should I push him to reach his maximum potential and prepare him for the dog-eat-dog world where altruism and politeness are considered a vulnerability?
He knows you disapprove of him. He knows you think he's weak. But he's not weak. He's decent. And if you or Bruce or anyone else tries to beat that out of him, I swear to God, I'll take him away.
The protagonist is the 7-year-old Josh Watskin, whose chess skills make people whisper that he is the spiritual heir to the troubled and phenomenally talented Grandmaster, Bobby Fischer. As far as Prodigy movies are concerned, Searching for Bobby Fischer is blessed with a fantastic ensemble cast including Joe Mantegna, Ben Kingsley, Lawrence Fishburne, and Joan Allen. But Pomerantz's tender performance steals the show and exhibits the existential angst of a child prodigy.
Trick or treat.